Yeah, good evening. How are you? I believe that you are good. The Lord has been faithful. He has protected us and He has brought us into this day for His own glory. It has taken some time before I uploaded a video here for you. But tonight I have a message for all of us, so I decided to come over again. The schedule is so tight, but I thank God because He has given me enough grace that I can be able to come at a time like now and share something with you. The last time I checked in the book of Joshua chapter 5, I learned about one of the character of God which many people are not able to maybe unveil when they read about it. And that is what I want to share with us tonight. And I went up and checked again, and then I found the name of God in the Bible, which we call the Lord of Hosts. That phrase, you will see it more than 200 times in the Bible. And many of us, when you read this one, the Lord of Hosts, or the Lord of Hosts, hosts are like armies. We talk about the armies of God, the Lord of Hosts. You may be tempted to think about Hebrew soldiers, the soldiers in Israel who are going for battles. But when you read it very well and try to understand what the Jews understood when they called Him the Lord of Hosts, you find that it is very deeper. I will connect this information with the words in the book of Joshua chapter 5. You realize when God called Moses to lead the people of Israel to the promised land, there were many regulations, there were many guidelines which God gave Moses. And you know the story of Moses and how he died on the top of Mount Sinai. You see, the Lord showed him that is the land where I'm going to send these people. You can see the land, but you never step on it because of disobedience. It is not only Moses, but all the men who came from the land, who were adults when they were living in Egypt. God did swear that because of disobedience, they will not see the land. In Joshua chapter 5, it is at Gilgal where the Israelites entered a camp. And then Joshua was told by God now to circumcise the young generation which was going now to inherit the land. This young generation are the people who were born during the Exodus. It means that the people who had left Egypt, the circumcised men, the circumcision was a mark of Israelites. You remember the covenant of God with Abraham, that they were to be set aside by circumcision. So through the wilderness, there was no time for that. Even though this sign was very important for them, it was not now an urgency at that point because they were moving from one place to another. But for them to enter into the land, then God directed Joshua to circumcise the men so that now they may be the people of God who He did swear that He would bring back and give them their land. So when Joshua executed these guidelines, the Lord appeared to him and told him that today the reproach of Israelites has been taken away. I think it was 14th date of the month when the Lord said the reproach for Egyptians against Israel today it has been taken away, that this nation has been restored to God. Now from there you get another session which I want us to pay attention here, because here is where now you get to connect with the information which I had given before. So Joshua saw a man who approached him carrying a sword. Then Joshua looked at him and asked him, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" That is some time before the conquer of Jericho. The man said, "Neither, but I am the commander of the army of the Lord." On hearing this, Joshua went down and he confirmed, or he showed reference for him as a messenger of the Lord. Then Joshua asked, "Which message do you have for me?" And the man, the commander of the armies of the Lord, told him to take off his shoes, for the place where he was standing was a holy place. Then it ended there. This specific passage makes me to think more about the name of God as the Lord of hosts, or the Lord of armies of God, as it appears many times in the scripture. You realize that the life which Israelites lived when God was with them, it was a life of battles, and God was fighting their battles. And the man who approached Joshua introduced himself as a commander of the armies of God. So here there are some things to highlight here, that this man was a man not from this world, but was a man from other realms, was a man from a spiritual realms, and he identified himself as a commander of the armies of God. We have seen in the scripture in many places God engaging in physical battles with the enemies of his people Israel. Here it comes out very clearly that someone comes from other realms and introduces himself as the commander of the armies of God. I think when we say the Lord of hosts, we are not talking about Hebrew soldiers or Israeli soldiers who used to go and win battles, but we are talking about the spiritual armies of God. In one place when God opened the eyes of the serpent, one of the prophets, he was able to see the armies. These are the armies. When you say, "May the Lord of hosts be our portion," you are inviting that dimension of God that fights our battles. I want to remind someone tonight that there are armies of God, and these are not physical beings, they are spiritual beings, and their work is to fight for the men and women of God who are going to commit themselves to the right cause and put themselves in the right way, such that the Lord can fight for them. Apostle Paul, when he was writing to Ephesians, he said that, "For our fight is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual forces of the evil in heavenly places." The battles were not just during the time of Moses. The Exodus and the life of Israelites and their interaction with God, it gives a photo, or like a vision of the spiritual life which Christians were to live even today. Apostle Paul put it clearly in Ephesians that our battles are no longer in the realms of the body and the blood, but we are still in battles. It is very critical for us to understand that as Christians, we are in the battlefield, and it is a call that we should not sleep. We should not slumber. We should not forget that we are in the battlefield. But our joy is that there is a commander of the armies of the Lord. There are armies of the Lord which are able to fight for us. It is good to invoke the name of God and see Him in this dimension, like the one who can fight for us, even the battles which we are going through now. Me and you are going through very difficult spiritual battles. But when we call unto the name of the Lord, when we call upon the Lord of hosts, He is able to fight for us. Now that we have a revelation that these are not Israelite soldiers or Hebrew soldiers, but they are spiritual, divine armies of God who are sent to execute the cause of God, then we can have faith that the Lord is going to fight for us. This is our message tonight, to encourage someone that despite the struggle which you are going through, when you engage God as a great man of war, then you are sure that you are going to excel. You are sure that you are going to emerge victoriously. When you read chapter 6, you will see after Joshua consulted with the command of the armies of God, how the conquest of Jericho was executed. It went in history. Even today we read about it and we get amazed by what the Lord did. So which battle is it this which the Lord cannot win? And dare say there is none. You just need to trust in Him and live according to His word. And then the Lord will be able to engage you and to know what you are doing and get involved in your battles. May the Lord so much bless unto you good. If you have not subscribed to our channel, I request you, there is a link down there. Please subscribe. You can share with your friends and it will be a blessing to us and also to you. May the Lord bless you and do you good. Have a good night. Thank you.